What's with these guys?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Red United TV. It's your boy, Ivorian Spice, and welcome to the Catch Up Volume 110. And as you know, we are here to discuss everything Manchester United. We're here to reflect on the Manchester United game against Nottingham Forest, and of course, news regarding Scott McTominay and Manchester United's left-back situation. But first, make sure you guys subscribe to Red United TV. Smash that like button, share across all social media platforms, and follow Red United TV on Instagram, and also follow Red United TV on Twitter, and also follow Red United TV on Twitch. But let's get straight into it. Let's start cracking in. Let me just introduce you guys to the panel. Today, we've got two guests, special guests. We've got Traps, and we've got Rhino in here in the building. Big up to Rhino and Traps. What you mans are saying today, man? First of all, let me start off with you, Rhino. How was the weekend? How you been, brother? And welcome.
Yeah, man. Now, first and foremost, thanks for having me, man. Is my audio good?
Yes, your audio is perfect, smooth as always. You know that.
Yeah, perfect, man. I just had to set this all up. I haven't used this platform before, this screen platform. But yeah, big up Traps as well. Big up the chat. Yeah, man, it's been all right. You know, at least we got the 3 points, so you know it could be worse. Yeah, I've been all right, man. Just been getting on with life. You feel me?
Trust me. And of course, Traps, welcome. He's making his debut on Red United TV. Traps, how's your weekend as well, bro?
Pleasure to be here, man. Pleasure to be here. Big up the panel, big up Rhino, big up Ivorian Spice. Yeah, man, I've had a good weekend, man. Obviously, 3 points in the bag. I've had an eventful weekend out and about, but other than that, can't complain, man. Good bank holiday.
Trust me, it's been a good bank holiday. But of course, guys, we're live across all platforms, Facebook, Twitch, and of course, YouTube. So make sure you guys hop along on each platform and follow everyone else that's on this show today. Let's get straight into it because it is Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 2. Manchester United burning down the Forest. But of course, as well, at the same time, going through a bit of bush slapping in their face at the early starts of the first half. Manchester United down 2-0 in the first 4 minutes. And then after that, making a dramatic comeback. And of course, the performance itself was questionable. A lot of fans were not happy that we had to go through that. But football is football. We take the 3 points. Manchester United are 3 games in, 6 points on the board. Compared to last season, Manchester United had 3 points. But again, everyone has their opinion. Let me get straight into it, guys. Traps, let me get your overall thoughts on the game. And then, of course, I'll go to you, Rhino.
I mean, I think the start of the game, I don't think we started the game badly at all. I feel like we didn't deserve to be 2-0 down. But nevertheless, we were 2-0 down. So I just think, on a whole, the way they showed fighting spirit, the way they came back, heads didn't drop. They knew they could get the win. My personal thoughts was when it went 2-0, I said this is not over, not by a long shot. And yeah, in the end they got the result, 3-2. And I don't think Nottingham Forest can actually have anything to complain about. To be honest with you, I think they caught us on the break the first time with a poor corner. They defended the corner quite well, and then it was obviously on the counter. And I don't want to pronounce his name because I can't pronounce it properly, man. The striker, the Forest striker.
Our knee.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Obviously he's clear through on goal. Rashford gets caught cold, and obviously he's through on goal. The second goal, Casemiro's at fault for the second goal. He just goes to sleep, lets his man just have a free shot on goal, and but like I said, they wasn't performing well in the sort of first 4 minutes. Then they controlled the game, was patient in the build up, picked their chances, and I genuinely believe that game could have been 5 or 6 too. To be honest. So that's my fault. That's my thoughts on a whole of what the how the game went. To be fair,
I was just about to go straight into you, Rhino. Rhino, are you still there?
Yeah, give me a second. Just sorting out my audio. AirPods just died.
I'll let you sort out
a couple minutes.
I'll give you a couple of minutes. I'm gonna go straight to my thoughts because overall, like I'm with you, Traps. The first 4 minutes just totally unacceptable. Defending wasn't great, especially for the fact that Manchester United conceded a goal from their own set piece, and then straight away on the counter attack. And I've been highlighting the high line and the high press. It's been worrying as well. You saw it in pre-season when Dalot lost the ball, and all of a sudden it converted into a goal. Manchester United still need to focus on that aspect of the game. I know Eric Ten Hag is working on it and trying to get it right. This is the actual first season, I think, in the first 3 games where we've actually started playing on the high line compared to last season. So he's fully focusing on it. But we conceded from that. Our knee did his best. He did what he had to do. It's not so unfortunate that it was Rashford as well that had to chase back. You would have thought that it would have been a defender or a fullback, but no. But the second goal, totally unacceptable. Manchester United's been conceding goals from set pieces this season, and it's been worrying. Like even scoring goals from set pieces has also been worrying. You guys know that as well, man. We can't score for shit when it comes to set pieces. But the comeback was good. Rashford playing on the wing as well, showing what he does best, but doesn't mean he had the best game. The cross as well, finding Christian Eriksen playing that midfield gives us that balance that we've been waiting for, because the midfield is completely different when you see Mount, Bruno Fernandes, and Casemiro. There's too much space, whereas Christian Eriksen was given some support with Casemiro and balance. The goals that came through, and I love the second half. The second half, straight away, we know that we needed a goal immediately. And Manchester United, I don't know what Ten Hag told these men at halftime, and I know he wasn't happy. That man came out there and, of course, got that equalizer. The penalty was a penalty, and, of course, red card was a red card. I ain't got nothing to say about that, man. Bruno Fernandes doing what he does, stepping up and scoring the penalty, but as well with the assist. But, again, I have my opinions, man. That his whole 90 minutes wasn't that great, but he was there for the moments, as we always say, man. Rhino, let me get your thoughts overall on that game.
Yeah. Sorry about that. My AirPods died. Yeah, man. It was quite a frustrating game. Listen, when the first goal went in, I was looking around. I was even by myself. I was looking around. I was thinking, nah, this is not happening. Then the second one went in. I said, yeah. This is giving me traumatic vibes. This is gonna be like an embarrassment of the weekend. We're gonna get slaughtered all over the social media and whatnot. And then I'm just happy that we regained control of the game. Showed fight, showed resilience, came back. It's like we believe that we're not gonna lose. We're gonna win this. So I was quite happy with that, man. So overall, I'm quite happy we got the 3 points. Boost of confidence going into the Arsenal game. I feel like for me, my concerns is just the lapses of concentration. It takes 5 seconds to not mark your man or be in the wrong position, and we're conceding from, as you know, like we did last season, corners, free kicks, and it's like even though Nana looked a bit confused, is like,
Mhm.
Ross, seriously, like that just happened, you know? So, yeah, my concerns from that game, just the lack of control and the lapses of concentration. But other than that, I'm just happy we got the game, got the win in the end, and we just need to show a bit more fight and desire. Because I said this, I feel like that's what's been missing from all our games. Even if we have an imbalanced midfield, even if the tactics are not exactly perfect, I feel like the team are not playing to the basics and following the fundamentals, and that's what's letting us down.
Yeah, absolutely right, man. They're not following the base, they're not following the rules. And Ten Hag highlighted that in the game against Tottenham. But against Nottingham Forest again, it's scary because if we go like that against Arsenal, yeah, we're definitely gonna lose. Because I'm never confident when we go to Arsenal on a Sunday, 4:30 p.m. and hopefully it's not sunny because you know how Arsenal is on a Sunday 4:30 against Man United in exotic weather, a good weather, and then they just beat us. It's I remember that, man. I never forget those days.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of players, guys, who do you think did well? Who do you think did poorly? Who do you want to highlight the most? Traps, I'm going to start off with you. Who stood out for you?
For me, I mean, I'm gonna say I wanna go against the grain with you and to say that Bruno Fernandes for me, he stood out for me in that game because usually there's a lot of narratives that fly about Bruno being he throws his toys at the pram when United are not winning. He doesn't he's not a captain, he's not a leader, all these things. But he showed in that game exactly why Ten Hag picked him to be the captain. Because if you go back to the last game we had, where obviously the referee, I think the referee booked him for talking to him, and I think he got in like he was kicked by the player and he had a scar on his leg, and usually that'd be Bruno Fernandes, this, that, and the other, all of that in the face of the referee and all that extra stuff. This game, he just said, right, time to pull my socks up. If I lead by example, you lot have got to follow me. I'm the captain, so I'm gonna get stuck in here, and I hope you will get stuck in as well. And that's exactly what he done. He got stuck in, making tackles. There's a clip of him sort of like he wins the ball back with a sliding tackle, then he slides in again and and passes the ball, and then he gets up and he carries on running. Like he was showing that desire to get the job done. And in the end, he got himself a penalty. Well, he didn't get himself a penalty. Obviously, Rashford got brought down in the area. He converted the penalty, and I think it was well deserved. Rashford again on the left. Eric Ten Hag needs to be looking at this now and saying, look, you've tried him in the striker position. Yes, it works for some games, but the majority of the games it doesn't work. It's not feasible. That is his best position. That's where he's most. You get most of his output. That's where most of his goals will come from. That's where he's most lethal from. That's where he needs to be. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka for me, another solid performance. Just not outstanding, but solid, consistent, and he's showing some consistency now that he's at this level, and you're going to get that level from him. That's where he's at right now. So he's another one. And yeah, definitely the three main ones that I would say that stood out for me.
Big up Stephanie says that Anthony and Casemiro did well for me, always in the game, trying to drive them forward. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has improved in his interplay, the way of attacking. Right now, man, let me know what your thoughts on the players that impressed you or who didn't do too well that you want to talk about.
I agree with Traps, man, in regards to Bruno. I know he gets a lot of criticism, and rightly so, because, you know, people, as a Manchester United captain, you want someone to be basically, should I say, like top standard, you know. But I don't know what I feel about Bruno. I don't know if a lot of people agree. I do see where people say he's overrated and etc. Because I don't know. I can understand it, but I can't explain it. Because for me, what Bruno brings to our team, I don't think a lot of midfielders bring. And I know we can criticize just like, let's say he has 100 outputs and only like 10 go through, but I feel like the 10 that do go through are magical and they're special, and not a lot of midfielders can do that. People did say De Bruyne was just being nice, but I think De Bruyne meant it, to be honest. When De Bruyne shouted out Bruno and he said, look, he's an output machine, and that's what Ten Hag sees in Bruno. In regards to being the captain, yeah, there was parts of the game where I saw him lifting up the defenders, like clapping, like someone, I think Dallo did a cross, and then after, like, he missed it, he didn't get onto the end of the cross, but he was making sure he caught Dallo's attention and said, "Look, good ball." Like, I saw him being more of a team spirit person and uplifting everybody and stuff like that. So, and I felt like he took the game on his sleeve. He said, "You know what? I'm the captain. I'm going to carry us through, and we're going to win this game." So, I think he's definitely improved in terms of the petulance and stuff. I get it, because I watched an interview of Bruno Fernandes, and he explained how he is, and he said, "Listen, I just love to win, and my team know how I am." So it might come across to other people in a different way, but it's not really like that. People know where it's coming from. And even, for example, when Gary Neville was trying to say that he wanted to come off the pitch on that game, and apparently after that we found out it wasn't true. There's a lot of false narratives around Bruno. And yeah, man, I'm just happy with the fact he is the captain, and he did show why he should be. For me, he just needs to be consistent. He has to keep consistent, especially in the big games. Don't fade away. Do the same thing and be consistent. So yeah, Bruno stood up for me. Wan-Bissaka, as always, he's been improving. He's been playing at a good standard. He plays very awkward and he's very funny on the ball, but he's effective and he's trying to cross the ball and he's trying to beat his man and everything as well. So more crosses from Wan-Bissaka, but I like what he's doing. He stood up for me. And for me, Anthony, I liked Anthony. A lot of people are saying Anthony's rubbish. He's never going to be good. He's crap. And I understand the criticism. But I feel like him coming into the league on his first season, scoring a couple of important goals as well, very, very bad with his decision making, but he's still effective in his overall game. And I think once he just starts making the better decisions, you're going to see a different Anthony. And I think that's the only thing holding him back, and that's make or break. If he can't start learning about the Premier League and how to make certain decisions because of how the Premier League is, maybe he's not built for it. But if he starts to do that, I think you start to see him beat his man. You start to see him cross with his right foot. You start to see him make the necessary passes. All he has to do is follow the basics. And I feel like he did that today, the other day, and he was quite decent. He played okay. Who else? I think, yeah, that's about it for me. Rashford, much more effective on the left, as we kind of expected. He got his assist as well, won the penalty. Yeah, that's who I can think of. I think there was a point where Casemiro started to look a bit shaky. I think he done his hamstring, but he showed a bit of fight. He kept on, and after that situation, he did a few good tackles as well. So yeah, that's about it for me that I can think of, like, that kind of stood out for me.
And who was your man of the match for that in that game?
Yeah, I'd say Bruno.
Bruno.
I like what they did with the set piece. You know, I was thinking, what the hell's going on? He done a cross pass, and then, you know, Rashford waited. It was literally from the training ground. So I liked that. Yeah, I genuinely like the way Bruno uplifted the team, and he showed, like Trap said, why Ten Hag wants him as the captain, and why I think he's overall just the best candidate. You know what I'm saying? He might not be the perfect one, but overall he's just he's the best candidate. Yeah.
Big up to Stephanie that says the introduction of Højlund should help Anthony.
Yep. Even just to touch on that, Ivorian, that's what I feel like Manchester United are missing the most. Let's support our players on the ball. You know, if Anthony's running or Bruno's running, let's create options for them. You know, you watch teams like Newcastle, every single player is just rotating. It's like clockwork. And I think if Manchester United can follow those literal fundamentals of just giving your players options, will do so much better. You see better from Anthony, you see better from Sancho, you see better from Rashford, Bruno, everybody. We need to be covering the pockets, man. It's so important.
Trust yourself. Who was your man of the match in that game?
I agree with Rhino, man. I think it was Bruno. I didn't really touch on Anthony because I'm at the moment, for me, the jury's out on Anthony at the minute. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, he's never going to come good, because he's 22 years of age. You never know, because there was a point where I was seeing people. Don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing him to Vinicius Junior, but there was times where I said Vinicius Junior is just shit. He's not good. He's never going to come good. There was times when I said that. So for me, I just think what I saw Anthony do, and it showed me a lot about him, is that he was trying to get to the byline and cross the ball and things like that. And when he started to do that, he became unpredictable. So people didn't. So the defenders weren't trying to show him to cut in on his left because then they could block it. They didn't really. They sort of were giving him that little second thought of what way is he going to go, and then allowed him a bit of space and a bit of time. So for me, he has to work on that. He has to start going down the line. Has to be a bit more unpredictable. Then his life will become a lot more easier in the Premier League. And another thing, he keeps hitting these shots. The left-footed shots, he needs to get them higher into the corner, because if he gets them in the corners, they're unstoppable. But he's just getting them; they're just a bit too low for me, just right height for the keepers to save. So once he perfects that into the top bins, we could have a player on our hands, man. But I'm not, like I said, the jury's out for now. But what I saw there, if he improves on that, I've got no shadow of a doubt that Anthony will be a good player in the Premier League. But this game, definitely Bruno, the way he led by example. And got the team over the line, and he deserved his penalty at the end of the day. Yeah,
my one's a split tie. It's between Wan-Bissaka and Bruno Fernandes. I just thought that Wan-Bissaka in that second half, just so involved in the game as well. He's starting to move like he can play a bit of tiki-taka football, even with his awkward foot. Like you said before, we always call him Bambi on ice, but he looks like he's dancing on ice right now with the passing and everything, like just twisting and turning through players. Like the amount of confidence he's gained through Eric Ten Hag's training, like you gotta have to big it up for him. And Bruno as well, as always, involved in the game, the assist, the goal as well, leading the team. So it's a tie for me. But let's move it up from the game and let's focus on news regarding Manchester United Football Club. For those who are watching, make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, and share across all social media platforms as well. But let's move straight from it, like guys. I'm sure you guys have saw the news on Twitter, on Facebook, all over. A surprise one was Scott McTominay being linked to Bayern Munich. Yes, big bad Bayern Munich, Germany, the club that just splashed money on buying Harry Kane, has decided to pull Scott McTominay on the top priority in terms of defensive midfield. And I thought that it was a prank. I thought they were just chatting shit. Like, I thought it was fake news. Then Christian Folks said, you know how Christian Folks says true and not true. He says it's true that Bayern Munich are actually looking at Scott McTominay. And we've read reports that Manchester United are also looking at Gravenberch as an option if they're not signing Amrabat. So it could be a potential deal there, potential swap there. What do you guys think of it, guys? What are you guys saying? Like, is this just capping or just bullshit? Or like, do you even believe it? Ryan, I'll start with you. I'll start with you.
Okay. I believe it, I only believe it because I watched Fabrizio Romano on the United stand, and he actually confirmed that Tuchel was a fan of McTominay. Wow. So obviously when Fabrizio talks, I know a lot of people say he likes to drag things along and whatnot, but generally he gets it right. I feel like maybe Tuchel sees something in him in terms of his athleticism, his height and everything like that, and sees how he can work within his system. The German league is a bit different to the Premier League as well. Scott McTominay has shown instances of being good at striking the ball and being okay, like just a standard midfielder. I've always seen him as a squad player anyway. Unfortunately, it's funny because out of him and Fred, I would have wanted him to go and Fred to stay. Fred was going to be the backup midfielder. But listen, you guys, I just want him gone. I don't care where he goes. He can go to I just want him gone. As long as it's credible and he goes within the next few days, I'll be happy for that, and then we can get some reinforcements in, man.
Big up to Stefan that says Sabitzer has put in a good word for Scotty, and one Don MUFC says let him go now, please. And man, I think we all been waiting for him to go. Trats, man, what's your thoughts on this Bayern Munich link of Scott McTominay? What are you for it? Do you want him out, or you're like, you know what, let him have a chance?
He's another one. He's another one that gets a lot of criticism from fans and whatnot. And with Scott, right? Scott is what you call a typical Man United utility squad player, right? He's never going to go out and start moaning saying he's not getting games. He's just going to be ready to come and play as and when he feels like it. And Man United need that because
he's very professional. Professional.
Because people think that you need players that all the best players in the best position doesn't necessarily work. Sometimes you need a player like Scott McTominay just on his mentality alone. Is what you need because he didn't cost Man United anything, and he's been there for many years. He knows the club, and I've seen some good performances out of Scott McTominay, and people think that he can't do a job. And as for Ryan Gravenberch, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen 2 managers now don't want to play this guy. Yeah, don't want to start this guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. He has got Kimmich and Goretzka to deal with, yeah, which is fair enough, right? Goretzka for me, but Kimmich definitely, right? So he can't get in front of them, and that's under 2 managers. And Bayern Munich now want to swap McTominay with Gravenberch. That should tell you that Scott McTominay might not be the best, but neither is Gravenberch. So be careful what you wish for at the end of the day, because you know what you're getting with Scott. Do you know what I mean? And if you remember last season, for I think it's about the first sort of 8 games or so, he was keeping Casemiro out the team. So I mean, I'm not saying that Scott McTominay is someone who you can look forward to think, yeah, he's going to play 30 games, he's going to be the best, but you might need him for that cup run, because you got important games in the title race to do, and you think, you know what, let's get Scott in, and he can do the midfield in the cup game because we've got this to focus on. So be careful what you wish for, man. I don't think he's a major problem like that, and I don't think I'll be sad to see him go, because I've even watched him I've seen him have performances for Scotland as well. The last one notably is when he had Rodri in a bloody headlock. Yeah. So I've seen him have good games. So for me, I just think, yeah, Scott McTominay is really, really, people just don't understand what McTominay is. They want him to be something that he's not. He's not going to be a star, someone who's playing in and out week in, week out. And he's happy with that. So I think that people should just be careful what you wish for, man. I'll be sad to see him go anyway.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that, Traps, man. But the thing about it is that the position that he plays, you just want a bit more quality coming from Scott McTominay. And I understand what you say. He's not the player that everyone wants him to be, and he will never be. But in terms for us to progress, we need players who have the quality to be in possession of the ball, and be available to receive the ball. And Scott McTominay himself, like, he hides in a lot of games. Like, I used to call him McShadow because he never made himself available to receive the passes. He always used to be behind the opposition and making sure that he's unavailable. But apart from that, he does get the important goals once in a while as well, the knee slides. But it's time. I think it's just time for him to move on. Overall, like, what are you saying, Traps? Like,
I mean,
in terms of his quality,
Scott McTominay for me, he's never been. He's not a top quality player, right? But the problem that you're going to have is that, yeah, people think, oh, we're Manchester United and we deserve this and we should be this. But when you have better quality players in, you can't have them sitting on the bench like you have Scott McTominay sitting on the bench, because they're going to be like, well, what's going on? Like, you signed me, I want to play. This one's ahead of me, that one's ahead of me. Then unrest starts to become, because if you got, like I say, it's a squad thing. So certain players are going to be better levels, and if there's the midfielders that are going to be better than Scott McTominay and the elite level are the ones that are going to be playing week in, week out. You can't have sort of 3 or 4 elite players. I mean, I know people are gonna say, "Oh, Man City did," but if you look at Man City's squad, they don't really have that many elite midfielders that play week in, week out. So I mean, but they've got Bernardo Silva. Obviously Gundogan's gone now. They've got Kevin De Bruyne. Who else really in the actual midfield? Rodri, for instance. Rodri. There's no Calvin Phillips, arguably, but he's never going to get in front of Rodri. So effectively, he's effectively someone who's not the same level. Do you see what I mean? So I don't know, man. I just think that it's a squad thing, and like I said, any player, the elite team should be starting, and these players should be coming in when there's an injury or a suspension or something, just to get you through the hard times, to be honest.
Yeah, Ryan, what do you have to say about that? Traps is saying that, of course, you can't really have a team full of too many quality players, and McTominay himself is the type of player that will just stay steady, not complain too much, not say he wants to play, and just do a job for the club. What do you think? Do you want quality, or?
Yeah, I just want him gone, man.
Yeah.
I just want him gone. I hear it though. I hear it. It's true. But it's ironic for me when Trapp says be careful what you wish for. I thought that with Fred when we was playing Tottenham. I was thinking, Fred would have been perfect for this game. So that's who I kind of see that be careful who you wish for. We could keep him as a utility player with Fred. But then Fred doesn't have that mentality that Scott McTominay has. You obviously saw that Fred wanted to go, hence why he went. So I can appreciate what Traps is saying still. But yeah, me, McTominay, man, please, man.
No, I
It's
do
all
understand. I do know. I
yeah.
understand. I understand totally. People say that, yeah, he's not the quality. He's not good, but at the same time, you're never in a million years going to get a quality player in that's going to do Scott's role. He's not going to have. He's not going to. They're not going to have it for the game time. Yeah, and they're not going to have it for just playing in bit parts in certain games and coming on for 20 minutes and 10 minutes. Scott McTominay will be happy to do that for his whole career as long as he stays at Man United. I promise you that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, then let's just end it there with the Scott McTominay and move on to the last segment of the show. Of course, Manchester United are in a hunt for a new left back after the news broke regarding Luke Shaw being out, and he's not going to be out for that long. Apparently, almost 2 months. Alvaro Fernandez as well, who's also sitting there in the youth academy, waiting to see what happens with his future. But Manchester United are linked to 3 left backs. All of them happens to be a loan deal. Some of them, I don't know, a permanent deal. You've got, sorry, I've got the papers. You've got Mark Cucurella that was linked to Manchester United yesterday. Manchester United are in talks with Chelsea, according to various sources. Marco Alonso today, Manchester United have offered 2 years. These are all alleged shit, guys, so don't just take my word for it. And of course, Sergio Reguilon, the final third player that's been linked to Manchester United. All of them, of course, had an experience in the Premier League. What's your thoughts on this one, guys? Do even Manchester United need to look for a new left back? Are they focusing on the wrong aspect? They should be more focusing on bringing on men like Amrabat, who's been waiting and not playing games, to join Manchester United's midfield. What's your thoughts on it? Who wants to start off the debate?
I'll let Traps go.
Yeah.
The left back situation for me is a weird one, to be honest with you, because if you look at them options, Marcos Alonso, you just basically got bombed out of the squad. I'm not saying he was rubbish, but you got bombed out of that squad because they was moving on. Yeah, so again, it's another Chelsea reject. Sergio Reguilon didn't want to play for us. He chose Spurs. So I don't know why we're even entertaining him. Yeah. Then we've got, out of all of them, it's Rico Henry. That's probably the most viable option because Mark Cucurella for me, right? He's not shown any of that form that he had at Brighton. He's came in. He's not really. He's a £65 million player. He's not playing. He's got Ian Matson and Chilwell for competition, and he's still not. And he's not playing. And to me, he doesn't actually seem bothered. I looked at his Instagram earlier. He's busy playing games, doing room service with the new lads and that. So I don't think that Mark Cucurella gives a shit about whether he plays or not. So him being here, I think it's just more helping Chelsea than helping Mark Cucurella's career because I don't think he's bothered. He's still going to get paid. He's reached the pinnacle of football by playing at a top 6 team in the Premier League, and I don't think he has any desire to play anyway. So, but at the same time, I don't feel like whether he can play or not. I don't think it's down to Manchester United to find that out. I think that's down to Chelsea to find out whether he can play at their standard or he needs to go back to Brighton or he needs to go wherever he needs to go. Because all this time and effort we can put into finding out whether he's good enough or not, we could be putting into Alvaro Fernandez because he had a good loan last summer, right? He had a good loan last summer. He came in. He hasn't been bad in the pre-season. Obviously, he's young. Like I said, we had a crisis. I keep saying about these crises that we had. I keep bringing it back to the Marcus Rashford crisis. We had a striker crisis. Nobody knew who Marcus Rashford was. No one. People was like, "Who is this guy?" He came in, he hit the ground running, and 7 years later, he's still here. So the same thing with the midfielders. Midfielder crisis, bring in a Hannibal. Striker crisis, bring in a Charlie McNeil or whoever. Yeah. Left back, bring in the academy because all this tells me. And I watch the academy, right? And sometimes I watch it and I look and I think, you know what? Yeah, all these. I came to the conclusion the other night. It's like all these players are actually shit. Yeah, all these players are shit, right? Only players that are good are the ones that we paid money for. Yeah, all the other ones, all the actual academy players are shit, and they must be shit because they don't get a look in. They play one game for United and they're off to Macclesfield, right? So this is either the academy is shit or we're not giving players the right opportunities. But I don't think giving Mark Cucurella a loan opportunity to revive a career he doesn't look like he's bothered about, I don't think Man United should be doing that, to be honest. And I think we've got bigger fish to fry in Amrabat and I don't know, maybe another attacker before, maybe even 2 midfielders, to be honest.
No, or striker at least. You know,
No,
I can't,
striker,
I can't take Martial be playing up front or Marcus Rashford playing up front all the time.
The striker thing,
Mhm.
I can live with because we got Højlund to come in,
Yeah.
and I feel like looking at how it is right now, what would be the best thing for United to do? I think the best thing for us to do is for confidence wise is for Ten Hag to put his arm right round Højlund and say, listen, yeah, forget about what everyone's saying. I believe in you.
Mhm.
You're going to score the goals. You're going to be the main man. And then let him go. And let him go from now until January. And January, you should be looking at an Ivan Toney just to shore him up a bit and give him a bit of help. You know what I mean? Sure. If he's lacking, and if he is hitting the ground running, we still get him in because you can then mix and match it up. And do you know what I mean? And then, but I feel like for now, you got to go with and I think Ten Hag will want to go with that because obviously that was his choice. He chased him, he got him he paid 72 million for him. So we'll have to see, man.
Rhino, your thoughts on the whole situation of the left back? Do we even need one?
I agree, man.
Elsewhere?
It's just weird. It's just a weird thing that we're looking at. I know Ten Hag has this whole thing with having like a main left back or main person in that position and having a direct backup. So I can kind of understand it. And if maybe Luke Shaw and Malacia are out for a very long time, maybe I could understand, okay, we need a left back. Because Dallo could do the job. And if anything, bring Fernandez in, you know. Like, let the kid play, let's roll him in. And I reckon them two together could hold it up. But there might be more to what we don't know, that why they're going for it, or it could just be stupid Man United Glazonomics just going for a left back for no reason. You know, I just don't, and I don't rate none of them, man. I'm just not keen on. They're all crap to me. You feel me? Like Cucurella, yes, he had that stint at Brighton, but at least show something within the Chelsea team that shows that you know what, you're just in the wrong system and you've still got something in you. We don't see none of that, and I just want to get Amrabat in at this point and someone with him, ideally. You know, that would be perfect, man. Let's focus on the central midfield. Trust us to do what they're doing. What Luke Shaw's only out apparently for a couple, maybe 2 months or so. Malacia, we don't know. We haven't heard nothing about him. His one's a bit weird as well.
Yep, he's been injured.
Yeah, he's been injured. We haven't heard I think Ten Hag gave a rough time scale before, but we haven't really been hearing much about him. He's kind of just been hidden. So yeah, I think we just need to focus on the more central areas and just get that in and get that solidified, and then move and then start to work on our foundations as a team, and then we can start to add quality. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm not really digging the left back thing, man, guys, man. No.
And the funny thing, we just don't need that situation. We need to get a striker. We need to get a midfielder. Big up to Stephanie Griffith that says old enough to remember a young Arthur Abbaston bossing Kevin Keegan in 1977 cup final, over 400 appearances later. Great career as well. One Don says that everybody, please get 10 Hag off transfers. Now we need a director of football. Like now we need help. You know, and did we sell Brandon Williams? Did we sell Brandon Williams? Yeah,
he's on loan.
He's gone on loan to Ipswich, yes, with a view of an option to buy. Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with Brandon Williams, right? But I'm telling you now, he's a better left back than Malacia. You know that. I don't know what gone on with him. Obviously, I know he had that rant on Instagram when City won the treble. But I don't know, but he's just been out of favour. Sometimes the players get like this. They're just out of favour. They're never going to be back in favour. They just need to.
Was he the one that got stopped with the balloon as well? The balloons.
Yeah. That was him too.
I think that was him. Yeah, I think that was him. Yeah.
You might have some things that are going on that Ten Hag's not really happy about in terms of his mentality or something, possibly, man. I don't know.
But yeah. The director of football thing as well. I've been saying this for months that. Where you see with a director of football, obviously with the Mason Mount thing, that's what I said to myself. When I saw him go for Mason Mount, the way he went for Mason Mount, I was like, we need a director of football, a proper director of football, because a director of football is someone who can differentiate and establish between what you need and what you want. Right?
Yeah.
So basically, and it's his job to give you what you need and then what you want. what you want to keep you happy and what you need so you can go and actually can achieve your objectives in the season.
Yeah.
Right. And so when the board meetings come and they say, oh, Mr. Ten Hag, you haven't done this, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. He can't then turn around and say, well, I haven't had this, I haven't had that, I haven't had that. Because the director of football will say, listen, we've given you a striker, we've given you 2 midfielders, we've given you a defender, we've given you, and to top it off, on deadline day, we've gone and got you Mason Mount on the last game. That's what you wanted. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse for him to. There's no excuse for him to. For him to say nowhere for him to run. If that makes sense, he has to be accountable for his actions. Right now, I don't think he's accountable for his actions because they're just getting whoever he wants to get whoever he sees fit, and they're not even doing that to a certain extent because he's quite clear he wants a midfielder and he wants more than what he's getting, and he's not getting it. Yeah, so I think a director of football, someone who can go to the board and say, look, you need to make funds available for this, and this, because if without this, he's not going to be able to do his job. The fans are going to get on your back. We're not going to win anything, and he needs this. And he, by the way, he wants that. So give him that afterwards.
I agree, definitely, man. Bring that balance, man. Balance of thinking, yeah.
Before we end the show, guys, of course, you guys saw the news fly out regarding Harry Maguire earlier on, and for some reason, there was a move apparently back on with West Ham that could potentially happen on a loan. And then Fabrizio Romano has straight away shot it down and said it's unlikely that Harry Maguire will be moved out. Is that capping, guys? Because you can never know when it comes to deadline day. This guy needs to understand that he's not wanted here. You know, the worst feeling is being at work and no one likes you at work. You know, now that's the worst feeling, and that's when you know you should be going. But you don't want to go. You're out here pissing people off, you know. You say hello to them, they're like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, why are you saying hello to me? Like you know what I mean, guys? And I don't understand what you have to say to Harry Maguire to go. Is he upset that, you know, yeah, there's no way I'm leaving. Like, you strip me of the captaincy. I'm not a dickhead, you know. How dare you treat me like this? Like, you need to pay me my full money before I go. Like, otherwise, I'm just going to annoy you, man, and stress you up, man. What's your guys' feeling on Harry Maguire, man? Is he going to go at the end of the season or is he staying here? Does he look like
man, he stresses me out. I just don't understand. Maybe we have to put him with the reserves or something. Like, I just don't get. Like, obviously, we have to try and look at things from both sides and look at him as a player and his rights and stuff, you know, and him as like his pride and all of that, you know. He's a human being at the end of the day. But he just needs to go. He needs to understand he's not wanted. I don't know. I feel like Southgate might be part of the problem because if he knew that he's not getting picked for England, he surely would have gone by now. Maybe he knows Southgate's still going to pick him regardless. Let me just cash my check in and stay on the bench. I don't care. I'm going to play for England when I'm ready. Or hopefully someone's going to get injured. I don't know what he's on, man. But yeah, I watched the same show that I watched. Fabrizio said it's 80-20 that he looks like he's staying, but you never know. And a lot of people do wait for the last day, but he just looks like he's not shifting himself. So I don't know, guys, what's wrong with him, man. He wants what he wants, and until he gets that, because I think he did agree terms, but he wanted 12 mil payout instead of 6. So realistically, he's here for the money. So if that's what he's on, that's what he's on. What can we say, man?
That sounds a bit mercenary to me. If it was anyone else that wasn't English, you know, or unambitious, that they will say in it.
They'll find some way.
What's your thoughts on that, bro?
I mean, when I see things like, you want 12 million to leave or whatnot, it just tells me what sort of person you are, right? So Harry Maguire has not been the same since he got nicked in Greece. That's when he got nicked in Greece, it went downhill. It all went downhill from there. Yeah, and so obviously, I think there's two, like you said, you got to look at it from both sides. One side is we want him out of the club. The fans are sick and tired of him. Shit performance of shit performance. Stripped to the captaincy. It's time for you to move on. He don't want to move on for whatever reason. Pride, definitely because of the money. So Man United signed him up to this big contract and made him the captain. So it's Manchester United board L to take. So pay him what you need to pay him and take the L. Because I said it was like when everyone thought we was getting Frankie de Jong, and everyone was saying, oh, Barcelona owed him 13 million in deferred wages. Everyone was like, pay him the money, pay him the money, pay him the money. Like, because he let him go, pay him the money. Same thing with Maguire. If you owe him that money, if that's his contract, pay him off, take the L. Don't let it happen again. Don't give these shit players, big contracts to the point that West Ham can't negotiate with them because the wages are too high.
Yeah.
So give him his 12 million, say goodbye, and let him go sign for West Ham and play for and I don't know, maybe win a Europa Conference or something.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Just to touch on that as well, and this goes back to the ownership, man. If we had ruthless ownership, they'll pay him and see you later. And that's what I want to see at Manchester United. I want to see us just getting rid of players ruthless and just bringing in what we need and just having that football first mentality, you know. But unfortunately, that's the one thing that's holding us back, guys, man. Just our ownership, man. It's been a dark cloud, man. Dark cloud, man.
It's like it's like with the you see when people say, oh, Ten Hag's ruthless, he got rid of Ronaldo, he did this and that. If Ten Hag was as ruthless as you lot think he is, bro, he would have this guy training with the under 12s, and you know what I'm saying, that's the kind of things he'd be doing. Even with Anthony, when Anthony has them games where he's not thinking, he'd be pulling him off and let him sit on the bench and say, bro, you're not good enough. So for me, I think Ten Hag needs to apply more pressure because like they said, the board are probably happy to think, oh, well, we haven't got to give him 12 million. You know, that's how we think to ourselves, we're going to, like, as a football fan, we think, we're going to have to pay him anyway, so just pay him and tell him to fuck off, right? But to the board, we think, oh, we don't have to pay him 12 million in one go, so we can make money, and we can make more money off interest, and we can make money off this and money off that, and pay him, and eventually doesn't look like we're paying him anything, and it can go. But we just think, well, I'm saying that's the key difference. And again, as Rhino said, it's the ownership. Tired of them just as much as we're tired of Maguire. You know what I mean? If you said to me, Harry Maguire stays for 3 years, but the ownership goes today, Harry Maguire, here we go. Yeah?
Here we go. I'll chart him. Super Harry.
And that's about it, guys, for today's show, man. Let's just end it there. Brilliant show. Big up to everyone that's tuning. As always, man, subscribe, smash that like button, and share across all social media platforms. Back again next week, Monday, 8 p.m. to review the Arsenal game. You know, just before I even end the show, quick prediction, scores, guys. What you quickly before we end. And right now, what's your thought?
Last. You let me go first.
You want to go last, man? Let me go first. I know we're losing that game, bro. Arsenal going to be trolling us on that day, in my personal opinion, because it's tough to go to the Emirates and beat them. But you know what? You just never know, man. You just never know. And I hope we can get it right. And hopefully we can get someone in by the time we play Arsenal. But it's Manchester United. Traps, what about you? What's your thoughts on that game? What's your score?
Listen, I'm never ever. People are gonna say.
I know you're never gonna say lose.
I'm deluded or I'm this and the other, but I have never ever admitted defeat to that lot. I'll tell you that now. If they go out and the last couple of times they've beat us, it's been iffy, man. It's not been a convincing beating. Do you know what I mean? So for me, like I said last week, like this week's performance. Yeah, to 2-0, and we came back and we showed resilience. But like last season, when we got it right against Liverpool, if we get it right against Arsenal, that could be the defining moment of whose season's going to go where. You know what I mean? But for me, I just think that on our day, we can, because Arsenal haven't been scoring goals. They actually haven't been scoring goals. Their last three of their goals was the last 2 penalties out of the last 3. So for me. Yeah, I'm not giving it to Arsenal just like that. And I feel that Arteta will become I did say Arteta is the most under pressure manager in the league at this present moment in time. And I hope Ten Hag keeps the pressure on him. So I'm expecting us to come out of there with at least a draw. I mean, people say they'd be happy with a draw. I mean, it depends on how the draw goes down, but I'm not expecting us to come out there with no points at all.
Right. Traps saying a draw. Rhino, you want to end this up for us?
Yeah. No, I agree with what Traps is saying. When we play Arsenal, form kind of goes out the window. Like when we watched the last game, you saw Rashford put part in the floor and slap it in. I was like, yeah, it's on. Yeah. So I can hopefully, if we have a good mentality going into the game, and then Arteta plays his part in putting party right back. We've got Casemiro now as well. You know what I'm saying? Let's do the right formation. Let's play our strongest side. we could beat them, man. My only thing is what let us down in the last game is our mentality towards the end. We crumbled and we let them get back in the game and we let them win. So if we can keep the mentality on and we can use Arsenal to prove a point, I think we could at least get a point out of them, possibly even a win. But I am skeptical that Arsenal are now feeling like they've got a point to prove. They are the Emirates as well, and then Arteta might switch it up as well. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. But I'm not as worried because we're both a bit shaky at the moment. So
I do think as well, if we do end up getting an Amrabat or someone in before, obviously because it has to be before Sunday.
Yeah.
I think that will make Arteta sort of start overthink it, like because they're not going to know what to expect. Until obviously an hour before the game when the team news comes out. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I mean, Ten Hag could play chess here and actually win with his mind.
Yeah, facts.
That's it, guys.
Even if he even if he says Højlund starting, even if he ain't gonna play, just even if he starts to drop that team news about in the week in the build up. Yeah, he's got
apparently he's meant to start still. Yeah, he's meant to apparently, or might be on the bench. So he's back with the team, training with the first team. Ten Hag wants him to have a whole week of training and then see what happens. So he'll be a good surprise to bring in. Because like what we did with Anthony, just throw him in there, like, So yeah, man, we'll see, man, guys. We'll see, man.
Exactly so, man. We'll see. But that's the end of everything. That's the end of the show. As I said before, we're back again next week, 8 p.m. UK time, live on Sunday for the watch along against Arsenal, and of course Thursday at 5 p.m. your latest Manchester United news. I'm live. Guys, it's been a pleasure. As always, God bless you all. Peace and love from everyone here, from Traps and from Rhino. We'll see you next week. As always, remember to keep it united and remember to keep it red united. Peace.